Our team is go. Good luck out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, guys. Sergeant Moose here, back with another Predator Hunting Grounds video, and as we approach the release of the PS5 and Xbox Series versions of the game, coming in just 1 week, guys, I wanted to kind of reflect and talk a little bit about yesterday's video that we made. Of course, we received the news regarding the upcoming release and the different editions that we're going to be receiving in the release as well. If you guys want to check out that video, you can go ahead. Now, today I want to talk about pricing, guys. My good friend Aliens Gaming Universe Community, who is also a huge Predator Hunting Grounds fan as well, gave me the scoop on some of the pricing that we have for these editions for the game. We also have some questions about it, though, guys, that we'll get into as well. And we're also going to look at your reactions from yesterday's video and what you guys in the community think of the upcoming re-release, if you will, of Predator Hunting Grounds. So, without further ado, guys, we're going to get into it. So, we talked about in our video yesterday, we have 3 editions of the game coming out. We have the Standard Edition, Jungle Edition, and Yautja Edition. And as you guys can see there on the screen, this is everything that's included in these editions. Now, for the Standard Edition, it's going to be $19.99 US. And just before we go any further with that, guys, this does come with the Feral Predator and the Feral Predator's weapons as well. And then we have the Jungle Edition, the next step up, the Jungle Edition, which is $34.99 US. So if you think of like, a deluxe edition in most video games, that's pretty much what you're going to be getting in the Jungle Edition. Now, this would be considered like the Ultimate Edition for the next pack, which is the Yautja Edition. This comes in at a whopping $69.99 US. So $70 right there, guys, will get you every single thing in the game, all DLC, aside, again, as we mentioned, aside from the Jungle Hunter Predator, which unfortunately is not available in any of these editions. So, very unfortunate there, guys, but we are getting these 3 editions. So, again, like we mentioned, I hope the game is decently upgraded for these consoles to justify that price tag. I know that's a lot of DLC, but it is a rather old game with all of that DLC. So $70 US, I'm sure especially a lot of Xbox players who've never gotten to experience the game yet, they might dish out that hefty price for us. But, just letting you guys know here, if you're coming in wanting to play the Predator from the original film, if that's the film most Predator fans, if they haven't, not overly familiar with the franchise, they may have at least seen the first movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. Just letting you know, you will not be able to play that Predator. At least from what I'm seeing here, I don't see anything about the Jungle Hunter being involved. Now, what I want to do, guys, I want to move on to some comments from you guys regarding yesterday's video. A lot of, a little bit of back and forth there with the comments, a little bit of mixed reactions. So without further ado, let's jump into that. Let's talk about some of that. All right, guys, so jumping into some of the comments now to see what you guys thought about it. Again, like I said, mixed reactions. We have a comment coming in here from Chris Fur953, says, sorry, they got me last time. Bought all the DLC, and I'm still waiting for the single-player mode, not going back unless it happens. And he's exactly correct, guys. So, many years ago, it was teased and even leaked that there was a single-player mode coming to the game with different objectives and everything like that within the game. You could play as the Predator in a single-player mode. Unfortunately, that never came to fruition, and we have never, we've never been told that we're going to be getting that here in the upcoming re-release or anything like that. So, a valid concern there, and like he said, he bought all the DLC. Now, it does remain to be seen, which we'll talk about here too, as in terms of the DLC, is the upgrade, if you're a PlayStation player, is the PS5 version going to be free, or are you going to have to pay another at least $20 just to be able to purchase the game again? And then if you do, is the DLC going to be included that you already purchased, or are you going to have to purchase that complete Ultimate Edition? Again, guys, I don't think that's going to go over too well with many players if that's the case. If I had to assume, I would think that the upgrade would be for free for the PS5, or at least a small, just a small charge, and then you would keep all of your DLC, because I'm not about to pay $70 again for all the DLC I already have, and then also not be able to have the Jungle Hunter Predator. So that would really, really suck. It's a good comment there, Christopher. I totally agree with that. Coming in from Dave Shade Nuff 187. This is very odd. Didn't expect this one, to be honest, to be upgraded and revived. They must really be desperate to put some games out there, obviously. So, yeah, again, guys, we are talking about IllFonic here. If you guys are as familiar as I am with this company, you know, over the past few years, you know, they've released Predator Hunting Grounds, of course, Ghostbusters, Arcade-Ageddon, and now Killer Clowns from Outer Space in that time frame. And if we're being completely honest, guys, and I think if, you know, anybody says otherwise, you're probably mistaken, all of those games are not doing well right now. You know, Ghostbusters came out pretty strong out of the gate. However, the game got boring really, really fast. It had a very low player base, and, you know, they're still making content for it here and there, but it's definitely not, I guarantee it's not paying the bills. And also, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, guys, I absolutely love that game, but it also has a ton of issues, and it fell off very, very quickly. So this could be a possibility. This could be a company in search of making some money, and of course, Predator, I think arguably, aside from Friday the 13th when they developed it, Predator is definitely their most popular game that they play, or that they made so far. And it's unfortunate to see that, you know, it was kind of left in the dust for all of these newer titles that don't even hold a candle to it. But, yeah, good comment there, Dave. I totally believe that, or totally understand that too, dude. Totally agree with you. It remains to be seen. Next, guys, we have a comment coming in from my good buddy 626 Drums. Of course, a lot of you guys watching my videos probably know him. He is one of the biggest, you know, most vocal Predator Hunting Grounds players out there. Again, he doesn't really play anymore, but when the game was kind of hot, that was the go-to guy. That's how I met him. Always very, very positive within the community and the players, and just good for the game in general. Good friend. So I hope in his regard that the game works out too, because I know the passion that he once had for it, and you know, I'd like to see him pick it up too if it's, you know, if everything works out the way it's supposed to. He says, "You know me, Sergeant Moose, I'm sensing so many red flags, all while the Predator fan in me wants to think we finally have something to be proud of. I'm reluctant to believe that this time around they have learned, after burning through 4 games, to just turn around to one property that made them money, all while definitely planning to wave the golden carrot at us Predator fans, since there is literally no other choice to play that is modern. Just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I simply want to see Predator be in a positive light, and unfortunately I will never believe IllFonic can create a game they are just planning to ditch in the name of a selfish agenda. I will always support you, Sergeant Moose, and I love seeing your passion for all things kick ass." Again, Drums, if you see this video, I appreciate that comment. Thank you so much, brother. And basically, just reflected off of everything I just said, him himself. And this is one source that I can go to and trust when it comes to making decisions for these types of games, because he knows what he's talking about with this. Again, as we just mentioned, he mentioned it too. Burn through 4 games. Of course, we're talking about Predator, Killer Clowns, Arcade-Ageddon, and Ghostbusters. They really did, guys. They burnt through them games, and none of those games were very good. Granted, again, Ghostbusters, very well-made game. It just didn't hit that audience that Predator Hunting Grounds did. And, you know, it was essentially dead on arrival, if we're being honest. But yeah, again, this could be, you know, and he's exactly right. Could this be they're just trying to rekindle that flame in Predator Hunting Grounds and kind of squeeze that rag and juice as much as they possibly can out of this franchise? And it's unfortunate that, you know, we have to hope that this game really finds success, because we don't know when there's going to be another Predator game in the future. You know, we could be relying on this game, and I think that's why I'm so adamant, and other folks are as well, to see this game succeed, because we don't know what we're going to be getting in the future. Now, this comment coming in from the Jack C4F. Now that IllFonic has the publishing rights for this game, unlike Friday the 13th, the game, the potential is insane for Predator Hunting Grounds, to the like of new modes, new hunters, the Feral Predator looks badass, and I'm looking forward to this future content on my Xbox Series X. Now, this comes from an Xbox player, guys, so I'm really happy to hear about that. You know, we do have Xbox players interested in this game, which is awesome, and he does bring up a good point now. IllFonic does have the publishing rights to this game now, so it could potentially be a little bit different than before, whenever they kind of were held by the grasp of Sony, who was publishing. Now they have the publishing rights. But since they announced that this game is going to be re-released months ago, guys, it's kind of been the same old, in my opinion. We haven't really heard much from them regarding the game. You know, they're always sharing screenshots on their new Twitter feed and stuff like that of the game, but we really haven't seen any vocalization about what we can expect in this game, aside from a very bare-bones roadmap, you know, with a few Predators thrown in, sprinkled in throughout, you know, the end of this year in 2025, but nothing really concrete about what's the future of this game going to be. If you're selling this game for upwards of, you know, $70 for the best edition, if you're selling it for that, you have to give fans a little idea of what they can expect in the future. Are you going to be on top of the bugs? Are you going to be on patches? Or is it going to be like it was before? Because if it's going to be like it was before, I highly encourage people, do not pick the game up. I'm sorry to say, but that's the way it's got to be, guys. I've been in this thing for over 4 years now. And I know what it's like, and you don't want to go through that. I am telling you, you do not want to go through that with this company and with this game. Now, good buddy Akmon, again, shout out to my good friend Akmon. We played Predator a ton together back in the day, other games as well, Evil Dead the game. Good friend, absolutely dedicated to Predator Hunting Grounds. He still plays hardcore today, and he's definitely your go-to when it comes to this game, because he is locked in and he has a passion for this game like no other. He says, and this is very important, he says, so no mention of the DLC Fireteam members being on the PS5 version. So, Akmon, you bring up an absolutely incredible point, dude. I never even thought about that whenever I made my video yesterday. Regarding the packs, guys, the only thing that was, you know, in that content for these editions they speak of are Predators. They don't speak of the Fireteam. Of course, we know we got two versions of Dutch. We got Isabel. We got Dante Jefferson, a.k.a. Marshawn Lynch, amongst other Fireteam members within, you know, the original game. Are these DLCs going to carry over as well? Because, I mean, these were a nice chunk of money, too. So, great point, Akmon. We shall, you know, it remains to be seen. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything about that yet. And the interesting thing about this is we're seeing a lot of news outlets posting this stuff. Of course, I'm getting my information a lot from Gamatsu and Bloody Disgusting, both very reputable sources when it comes to these games, so we can guarantee that they're, you know, legitimate. We haven't heard anything from Ilphonic yet, you know, about this, so I don't know. This is a weird thing that they've done with all of their games over the past few years. It's like you hear things from other news outlets before you actually hear stuff from them. So it remains to be seen. And going through a few more of the comments, guys, we have from AEV6075, milking a dead cow, beating a dead horse, perfect aphorisms for describing this game. And, you know, guys, if you've been in this game for a while now, I mean, it's kind of hard to disagree with them. Like I said, time will tell. Time will tell, AEV, but we'll see. We'll see. But as of right now, to me, it almost seems like that's the case, too. Another comment coming in from my good buddy Aliens Gaming Universe Community. The feared feral predator, in quotations. Yeah, very true. You know, a lot of people had mixed emotions about the feral predator in Prey. And I'm not sure if it's the best selling point for, you know, this new edition and stuff, but it is the selling point. So, I mean, you're going to have to make that decision now. Now, Prey is the newest film. Feral Predator being the newest, you know, predator of today. That we've seen, so it's going to be interesting to see how people take that as a selling point for buying this game. Coming up with another comment from my good buddy Zawella, who also has played a ton of Predator with me in the past, and we're looking to get back into it together again here too, whenever it comes out for the upgrade. He says, not too sure how I feel about this, wondering if anything is patched or if it's just a re-release. So, another great point there, as we just mentioned, how often is Ilphonic going to be patching this game? Because we know the game is certainly riddled with bugs, as we mentioned yesterday, bugs, cheats, hackers, all that stuff, a lot of game-breaking issues and exploits that are currently in the game. Is this going to be released that way with the re-release, or is there going to be like a massive day one patch that's going to fix a lot of things? And with Ilphonic, you know, juggling a lot of games right now, you know, all of those other games we just spoke of that they have worked on, they're still working on them. So how's Predator Hunting Grounds going to fit into the mix, and how quick are we going to see some of these game-breaking issues? So good comment there, Zawella. That, again, too, remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes. So Agux Tech mentions here they forgot to launch the game on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I wouldn't be expecting that anytime soon, dude. We'll see, but I would not expect that. Coming in from my good buddy, the King of Hippo Island, says, yay, I can play as Feral Predator. The best one, he says. Now, I want the game. Yeah, I know a lot of folks are, they love the Feral Predator. They love the movie Prey. And, of course, we'll be jumping in as the Feral Predator. It's going to be exciting. Now, again, guys, you know, it's going to be, obviously, it's going to look like the Feral Predator, but it's just going to be a different Predator with different stats. That's what we're looking for. So, we need a little more clarity there with some of this stuff. Good friend, Seed of Memory, a member of the channel. Thank you so much, brother, for the comment. Says Sergeant Moose is back. Well, we'll see about that, Seed. We'll see about that. We'll see how the game goes. I mean, we're always going to be making news content and stuff for this game for its entire duration of life, however long that may be. As far as regular gameplay on the channel and stuff like that, that remains to be seen. However, if the game, you know, if the game plays well and it looks good, bugs get fixed, we have kind of a roadmap, content, things like that coming. 100% we will be back to covering this game on the channel. Abolish Parliament says, not going to waste my time with Ilphonic. Only good game they made was F-13. It can be argued, Abolish, that yes, F-13 is probably revered as the greatest asymmetrical game of all time. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Of course, developed by Ilphonic, you know, but a lot of that mindset was from Gun Interactive, you know, and let me speak on that for just a second, guys. You know, when Killer Clowns from Outer Space came out, of course, we know we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre out that you guys know I cover all the time here on the channel, and Killer Clowns. A lot of folks thought that Killer Clowns was going to bury the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is laughable. And a lot of folks also said that, you know, Ilphonic was the true mind behind F-13, not Gun. They were saying that Ilphonic was the experts, not Gun. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but anybody out there who thinks that Ilphonic is a better mind at making asymmetrical games than Gun, you are sadly mistaken, and that is not up for debate. That is not up for debate. F-13, of course, developed by Ilphonic, but if you've seen F-13 when Ilphonic developed it, a lot of issues, a lot of bugs, very similar to today's games. That mindset behind F-13 and the authenticity was absolutely Gun. That is what they do. I can't even have this argument about Ilphonic and Gun right now, but just to get that out there. Now, again, guys, too, I just want to touch on a few things before we end the video. Lots of folks coming in, and I totally agree with you. Need a single player. We need a solo campaign. Single player. Single player. We need a single player mode. I wholeheartedly agree with you, guys. One thing I've been saying, you know, I've been kind of in this asymmetrical world for the past 4 years with all these horror asim games. We need to stop normalizing making iconic horror IPs horror asymmetrical games. They do not always have to be asymmetrical games. Let's make some other game modes. Of course, you guys remember AVP 2010. Why can't we make a mode like that? Not everything has to be an asymmetrical game. And of course, guys, the single player stuff, that remains to be seen. I hope we hear something from Ilphonic very, very soon. But guys, that's going to wrap up the video for today, man. Just wanted to touch on some of the price points of these new additions coming in with the game and get you guys feedback on it as well. Talk a little bit with the community, get some community, you know, what you guys are feeling about this too. So again, guys, let me know what your thoughts down in the comments about the price points. And of course, if we have any more news, we will let you guys know as soon as possible. With that said, my name's Sergeant Moose. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one.